Hello, A-Push students. I'm Sean McManus, and I will be going over Martin Van Buren and his presidency. Some background information about Martin Van Buren was that he was the 8th president of the United States. He was born on December 5th, 1782 in Kinderhook, New York, and he died in the same place on July 4th, 1862, and he helped found and was a part of the Democratic Party. Martin Van Buren was born to Abraham and Maria. Abraham was a farmer, and they were both of Dutch descent. And even in his household, he was raised to speak Dutch first and English second. And also his father ran a tavern, and in taverns common during the time, were places where there would be political debates and where political discussions would take place. And this was very early exposure for Martin Van Buren to politics. And because of his inability to go to college, or because of the modest living of his father, he was not able to send him to college. However, Martin Van Buren was an apprentice for a lawyer. And after studying law, Martin Van Buren was admitted into the bar to have political discussions. He had many official positions, first for New York and then also on the national level. But to name a few, he was part of the New York Senate in 1812. He also got elected for the United States Senate in 1821. He was elected the governor of New York for 1828 after giving up his position as Senate, and he was also selected as the Secretary of State to his good friend Andrew Jackson, who helped develop the Democratic Party with Van Buren in John C. Calhoun. However, Jackson needed to Van Buren sacrificed his spot so that Andrew Jackson could reorder his cabinet, and was and due to his loyalty, he was able to get a position to be a diplomat for Great Britain. And he, in 1835, was nominated as president and became president in 1836. Unfortunately, after 2 months of being president, the United States got hit with the Panic of 1837, one of the worst panics of the time, or in the time of the U.S. history in that general area, other than the Great Depression. And people during the time would blame Martin Van Buren for this. However, it was because of the Specie Circular Act that this was a major problem, as that caused speculations. Many banks across the country um, failed because of this, and early early the early way that Martin Van Buren wanted to attack this was fixing sort of what Andrew Jackson did wrong in trying to break up the bank by having an independent treasury take care of the funds, but Congress wouldn't let that pass until 1840. He denied annexation for Texas because he felt like that would bring up the debate of slavery, and he did not want to do that, and it would interfere with the current balance that the states had between free and slave states. And he also and he avoided any big issues with Great Britain in terms of war after the Carolina Affair, which is when Um, it was when the Canadian separatists were trading arms with Americans, and Great Britain told the Loyalists to just to attack the separatists. So they decided to burn and throw the Caroline ship off of the Niagara Falls and to kill one American. However, this ended peacefully. And he continued to push for policies that would hurt Native Americans and keep pushing them west, which also increased dislike for him, and his approval rating went down because of this. And this leads into his poor domestic affairs grade with an F, as there was a huge economic downturn, and he didn't really do a lot about it during the time. Um, he his policy went 4 years without doing anything, and his pushing the Native Americans further west definitely helped hurt his grade. He had an average foreign affairs grade, as he didn't really do too much with it. Um, it increased sectional tensions because the South feel like they didn't get what they wanted, but it was for the better, and he avoided a great war with Britain, which is pretty good. And during this time, transcendentalism was a very huge part of American history, and the definition of transcendentalism is that humans are naturally good, and so it's through experimentation and doing different things that we can be better and perfect ourselves. And there was a huge development of towns and churches and actual buildings when women started moving west. And then there was the development of the telegraph during the time, which helped increase sending messages at faster rates and over longer distances. Thank you for listening to my lecture, and have a good day.